All right, it's time for another choice project. When I say choice, I mean my choice because you're creating something else for me this time. It is a snake infographic. So we did an infographic a couple weeks ago, and that was the one with the bicycles on it. Hopefully you remember. Um, you might want to Google infographics and just get some ideas of different ways that those will be displayed and kind of how that you want to design yours. But they're usually fairly simple. Lots of great eye-catching design and colors, but also information. You want to keep it simple. Don't make it too wordy. The purpose of this is going to be to put back there by my snake's tank. And so that just a general person who walks in can read just a little bit of information about the snake and learn things, learn the basics, learn some things that they didn't know, but not get overwhelmed by horrible design or too much words. So here are the specific requirements. I do want you to call it Snake Infographic. And you are working in teams for this one. I've posted the team assignments on this post, and I've also left it with my sub so you'll know who you're working with. And you'll need to sit together in the same row with your team for the duration of this project. We'll have at least this week, but also probably a couple days next week to complete this if needed. We'll see how it goes. So, some information that requirements that you have to include. It needs to be able to be printed on a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with quarter-inch margins. That does not mean that it has to fill up that much space. I'm just saying it cannot be really long or just overly large in general. You want it to be small enough it can fit on a sheet of paper. And there needs to be at least 2 photos with this. You are not taking your own photos of my snake. You are going to find them on Google and just try to find high resolution photos that are going to be clear and not pixelated. You have to include the following: her name, her gender, her species, and her color, which is right there on the assignment post. Other topics that you might want to include, but you don't have to include all of these, are where the name corn snake comes from, how large they grow to be, whether or not they are venomous or dangerous, what types of food they eat, how often they like to be held. Um, that's just starting brainstorming ideas. You can think of your own things, like what do you want to know about the snake? And you're going to go research that and include that information on there as well. The purpose of this is probably for people who don't know a lot about corn snakes. So think of the information that you might want to know or that you wanted to know whenever you first learned that I had a snake, and include that information in there. You might also want to have a specific audience in mind. Is this for kids? Is it for teenagers? Is it for people who already know a lot about snakes? Or for people who don't know a lot about snakes? Or for adults? Who is it for? And just kind of have that audience in mind as you're designing your infographic. Other things that I will be looking at: balanced design, clean and eye-catching design, talking about don't make it too wordy, um, bright colors, but simple at the same time, consistent but non-standard fonts. And you should use a pleasing color scheme. You can either create your own color scheme, usually 3 to 4 colors that just look good together and kind of pop. Or you can use the color scheme of my classroom, which is currently the aqua, yellow, navy, and black. I've got a rubric on there that is simply checking for 5 requirements: the basics of the document, the required information, additional topics have been included, good design, and that you have addressed a specific audience. If you have any more questions, let me know. You can email me. I will be back and we'll continue it next week.